everybody. Welcome to our new podcast, The Art of Living Well with Liv Hill. I am joined today by my friend, Meghan. Meghan and I are going to talk all about summer. We're going to talk about navigating the summer without losing yourself when we are all on different schedules. So welcome, Meghan, to the podcast.
Hi.
So we are excited today. Meghan, how many podcasts have you recorded before?
0. So this is a new one for me. So if I seem nervous, sorry, everybody.
I was nervous at first too, and then you just get in there and you get grooving along. All right, so Meghan, you are the COO of Liv Hill Nutrition. If you see any guide that's done, it's care of Meghan. If you see me having my life together at all, it is care of Meghan. So
I wouldn't say that, but
she's also a client and has just done crazy, amazing things, and we're going to tell that story one day, won't we, Meghan?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit. Talk about what we'll just enter it in, like what your family life looks like your job situation, and what you navigate on a daily basis normally, and then we'll talk about how it's different during the summer.
Okay, I work full-time as a financial analyst for a company called Team Health. So that is my 8 to 5 job, and I do that fully remote, so just me and my computer. I love it. During the school year, part of the reason why I'm fully remote is because my job wonderfully allows me to also teach part-time at our private Christian school, Apostolic Christian School, here in Knoxville. So I teach, I work for a little bit, and then I teach, and then I work for a little bit more, and then I teach for a little bit more, and then I get back on and I finish my day of work at 5 o'clock. So that is my schedule during the school year, and then I also have 3 children. I have a soon-to-be 11-year-old who thinks she's 17, a 7-year-old boy who runs me ragged, and
But cracks himself up in the process.
Yes, who is definitely the life of every party that he's involved in. And I also have a 17-year-old boy who just graduated high school. So right now, because we're out of school, my life is basically I'm not teaching, so I'm just straight Team Health, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and also being at home all day with all 3 kids every single day. And I love them.
Yes, we do. We love our kids. Everybody give that a thumbs up that's watching. But I'm in a similar situation as where coaching is definitely an 8 to 5 job, takes up time to do that. And my kids are home during the summer. And so Meghan, this is her first summer truly of going all the way through coaching. You started about a year ago, but we were just getting our bearings I think it might even be a year ago, like today or like really soon.
Yeah, it's a year ago, like very close to right now.
Yeah, so this is really your first full summer, though, with having your arms around everything. And we had talked about now that you're not teaching, and so you would think that you would have more time on your hands, but then that just got swapped out with a totally different ballgame.
Yep. There's just more activities, there's more, and there's also a lot more pressure because I'm at home with the kids. Yes, I have my job, and I'm trying to do my job at the same time, but I don't want to feel like I'm neglecting the kids or that I'm not being a good mom by just working on my computer all day, every day. When they're at school, I know they're getting a good education. I know they're getting playtime, those kinds of things. But when I'm here and it's just me and them, I feel more of a mom guilt or pressure to not only be good at my job and do what I need to do for my job, but also to be a good mom.
Yeah. They can't be on the computer from 8 to 5 every day on the iPad.
Yes, no, they can't. And I also can't be on the computer, just straight in because you can ask my boss. There are hundreds of times where we've been on the call and here comes shirtless Palmer. And it just is. I mean, thankfully my boss has kids too, so she understands, but if I weren't in that situation, it would be a lot more of an issue.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and your kids are similar to mine, like we've got different ages, and so they're popping up awake at all different times of the day. So that makes it a little bit different to structure too, because I've got one early riser and then one late sleeper, so there's a big gap and window there too.
Yes, there is. I've got, my 17-year-old wants to sleep until noon, 1 o'clock every day, and his 7-year-old brother is beating on his door at 7:30, like, hey, let's go play video games, and then I have to break that fight up, and that's what happens.
That's what happens. Welcome, everybody. And I'm sure that there are 90% of the people listening to this podcast that can relate to some degree, whether it be that they have kids, whether it be that they have, aging parents, whatever it is, 2 jobs, responsibilities. And so when we went into the summer, you really had before summer, you had a really strong system and routine that was working for you as far as the way you were taking care of your body, the way you were doing your nutrition. Like, it was a well-oiled machine.
And I was very, very nervous about going into the summer because I am very much a creature of habit. And I had my machine, I had my process, and this is what was happening. And I know we talked a couple of times, especially in one of my check-ins, because I was really like, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. What do I do? Everything is going to be different, and I'm going to completely crash because I'm an all or nothing. I'm either running 24 hours a day or I'm laying in the bed relaxing. Like, there's no in between. And with summer, I've really had to go outside of my comfort zone to be able to say, okay, we're not going to do all or nothing. Just because I'm not in school, just because I'm not running myself ragged, doesn't mean I still can't have a schedule, and I still can't say, this is what's going to happen, this is what needs to happen. And with kids, kids are like, I see your schedule, I just used it for toilet paper. So we have to, you have to figure out, well, what is good for your kids? What's good for your schedule? What's good for your work schedule? What's good for your school schedule? Yep. Your kid's schedule when you're not in school. So that was really what my challenge to myself was when we first started this summer.
Yeah. And you were real open about that, which was great, we said, okay, this is coming up. I'm nervous. I'm scared. How are we going to do this? And so we just said, well, let's try some things. So we went in and tried. So we're going to talk a majority of this podcast about what has worked during the summer, because we've had a total transition of just schedule change. And so Megan's been able to stay successful during the summer without really skipping a beat. And it's because we talked about it early, and we've implemented a couple of different things and tried some different things. So let's kind of break it through that.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the first thing that we tackled was the steps, because I think that was where you were like the most anxious, was how am I going to get activity in the mornings. Like we said, with kids' different wake up times, you might wake up really early and just sit for several hours and get some work done before even.
Yeah. And I did that for probably the first few days. I mean, because I can work wherever. I mean, if I even want to sit in my bed and work, nobody sees me. So there could be, just speaking from previous summers, I mean, I could go all day and never technically get, go further than from my bedroom to the bonus room and back one time, because that's where my computer is. So I had to come up with a system like, hey, you have to get out of this bed, even though I don't have to get up and get dressed.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the nexus. Like, you get up in the morning, you want to get ready, you got to get ready, you got to have your coffee, you got to do all of these things. When you don't have to necessarily do any of those things, it's hard to get the motivation to actually do anything. Well, at least it is for me. Well, so I've really had to step in and say, okay, I gave myself 2 main things to get by that one. The first one, which was a suggestion from you, which was great, is I give myself 5,000 steps, and I have to have those by 3 o'clock every day.
Yes.
Now, 5,000 is not a lot for some people, so I take that with a grain of salt a little bit, but my goal, just to put it in perspective for everybody else, my goal is 8,000 a day.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are trying to get, 10,000 or, you super users, y'all can that can be higher for other people.
Was that an attack?
No, I'm saying, no, you guys are super users. I wish I could be like that, but it's just not going to happen. It ain't happening for this one. So I picked a goal that was going to happen, and I set it.
Oh, it's a great goal. It's working. It's working.
It's working. And so I tell myself every day, and like yesterday was kind of a lazy day, and I didn't get my goal. So at like 4 o'clock, I looked down and I didn't barely have any steps, and I kind of started, like, you can see my face is getting red just talking about it. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't done anything. So I walked 2 miles last night at like 8:30.
Oh my goodness.
Last night. Like now, hooray, I'm glad I got it in, but that's not necessarily when I wanted to be walking. It's at 8:30 at night. By that time I should have been, going to bed. But so that was goal number 1, and for the most part it really has worked to get me up and get me moving and get me not to kind of just rest on my laurels. The second thing was to get up, and like you gave me this idea too, to get up about every hour and just take a lap around the house. I have never ever done that. That's never been a thing of mine. But when you said that, I was like, you know what? I really can't do that. So I look like a crazy person, but I get up, I walk into the bonus room, walk back out of the bonus room, downstairs, back up the stairs, and the kids are just looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, just having a little walk around. And I've got an alarm set on my phone so that every hour it yells at me like, hey, you haven't gotten up yet. Get up and go, take a few steps. Not many, but just a few.
How long does it take you to make that lap?
3 or 4 minutes at the most. Like, I mean, I'm not like doing, like, literally when I say a lap, like I'm walking in and out, up and down, and then I'm back to getting some work done.
Yeah, just right back at it. But 3 or 4 minutes times 8, if you're doing it 8 times a day.
Yeah, and
it up to I would imagine half your steps.
It does. It helps it takes a big old chunk of that out, and it also just motivates me in other ways. Like once I get those 3 or 4 minutes in, it kind of just rejuvenates you. It gives you a different, I'm not staring at my computer for hours and hours. I get that little break, and then I can come back a little more refreshed. Fill my water up while I'm walking down the stairs into the kitchen. So I make sure I still have some water with me. And if you take any mother, even fathers, most of them, but any mother that takes a lap around their house is always going to see something that needs to get done. Yeah. So, you put a load of laundry in, or you grab some water. There's always something happening. Yeah. So that kind of, spurs you into other things.
Absolutely. And gets you from being so drained from sitting in front of a computer all day, because we can still sit all day long and then just be absolutely drained. So it breaks that up too, to keep you moving. Mm-hmm. All right, so number 1 thing that she does, I'm going to recap these as we go, is try to have 5,000 steps by 3 o'clock, because that's a majority of her steps, so she makes sure that you've got 5,000 before 3 o'clock. All right, let's go into the next thing. Talk about how you write down your schedule.
I'm a creature of habit. Very big creature of habit. I need to know exactly what's happening. Even when what's happening explodes and all the things change, I need to have my center of this is what's happening. So every week, I sit down with a pen and a paper, usually on Sundays, sometimes on Mondays, and I'll say, okay, this is what I'm having for breakfast. This is what I'm having for lunch. This is what me and the kids and the husband are having for dinner every night. These are the things we have planned. These are the times where I don't have anything planned, so I'm going to try to squeeze something in. Sometimes it's a workout, which is great. Sometimes it's a nap, which is great too. I mean, sometimes you have to have that kind of stuff, that kind of time for yourself.
Absolutely.
So I have to keep myself on track and keep myself on schedule and on a piece. Every morning I look at my schedule and I'm like, okay, these are the things I have to get done today. Mm-hmm. I like to get my have-tos done early in the morning. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the day, when something does explode, because it's gonna,
'Cause it's
you
fun.
know, I've already gotten a huge chunk of my need tos done.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because things are going to get just nutty. That's just the way life is.
That's the way life is. I mean, a kid's gonna fall, he's gonna hurt himself, or somebody's gonna have put dishwashing liquid in the dishwasher instead of always something is always happening. I've got a dog and a cat too. You never know, huh?
I like how you say he at most of these.
I love
I love
him.
you.
He's such a sweetie. He's just a wild. He's a little wild, so we never know what Palmer's gonna do.
We never know. We never know. But having that schedule out helps you, and it helps just keep you focused, so that way you know what you're doing. And I'm a big fan of scheduling workouts, and so being able to do that in the summer has helped because it's so much easier, as you're saying, in the mornings to say, this is when I know I'm going to do it, I'm going to knock it out, and then it's not like this barking over your head all day long when other things pop up. You know you've got it done.
I set out at the beginning of the summer, and I mean, I think in like my check-in probably from the second or third week of May, I was like, this is going to be my schedule for this summer, and I'm going to do 2 cycles, Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to do, lifts or strength on Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm going to do walks on, these 2 days. Mm-hmm. And I literally just repeat the exact same cycle every single week because I found that it worked for me. Mm-hmm. And once I figured out what worked for me, now I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to try to squeeze them in. Like yesterday, I had to squeeze that in because I, did a little bit of a flarp and just laid around. Yeah. And I didn't like that feeling of having to squeeze it in. I was proud of myself that I did get it in, don't get me wrong. But knowing that I already have my stuff done and I already have it planned, it just makes everything that much easier. Mm-hmm. And even when I don't do something according to plan, like I think last week I flipped one of my days. It's not that big of a deal. It's okay. Yeah. At least I still did something that day. And so I just did you just have to, I keep telling my kids, I'm like, you have to give yourself grace. And that's been my whole theme this summer. Like, I have to give myself grace. Yes, I have a schedule. Yes, I'm trying to keep to it. And I'm, not to say that I'm doing everything that I need to be doing. But so far, I've been able to do a pretty good job of keeping to my schedule. Well, but when I haven't, it's okay.
Yeah, and you found the balance with grace because, like you said, like grace is not giving yourself an excuse. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost is because grace is not a constant excuse. Like last night, you not getting your steps in, you're like, well, I could have given myself grace. But you're like, do I really need grace when I just had a lazy day? It's like, no, I need to push myself. But would you have needed grace if it was like, okay, 2 cars broke down, we had a flat, I didn't get my steps in because life was crazy. Yeah, I need some grace. Like that's a different, and so I think being able to distinguish between like I need some grace and I need to get my rear in gear are 2 different things. Balance those in everyday situations. I mean, that's just a long-term understanding of how you can keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, another thing you do is meal plan and prep. So we're going to roll into that because I think that's been huge for you. And when you were talking about how having that done, having your schedule laid out makes things so much easier, I feel that way about meal prepping because I think I'll just talk from my experience. I meal prep for our family and I don't have to think about things 90% of the time. And that is like the most glorious thing ever.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about how you meal prep.
My schedule, the best time for me to meal prep is on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So I take an hour and a half to 2 hours every Sunday afternoon between church services. Mm-hmm. And I do a Walmart grocery delivery because I don't want to go to the grocery store. That is that's my one concession to myself. If I'm going to do all the cooking, then they're going to deliver groceries to me and I don't have to go to the store.
I like that.
I know, I'm like, and it also, honestly, yes, I have to pay $10 a month for Walmart Plus, but I save money because I'm not in the grocery store like, ooh, what's that? Yeah, because I will do that. Chris? Yeah, I will do that at the grocery store. So I'm like, what's this interesting spice? No, no, don't touch it. And during the summer, it would have been really easy for me to be like, well, you're going to be at home. There's no reason to prep your food. You're at home. I can cook my breakfast every morning. I can cook my lunch. I can cook dinner. I'm at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew myself
Yeah.
and know that would not have worked. If I'm going to be on a schedule, I need to stick with my schedule. So every Sunday, I make breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday, because I do give myself, again, some grace on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I do my breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday, and I do my husband's lunch Monday through Friday. And I will do at least a few dinners for me. So that because it's not that it's not fair, but I'm not going to have the whole family eating the same exact things that I eat. Do I want to eat dinner with them? Yes, sometimes I do. And when it's a healthy dinner and something that fits within my schedule, I eat dinner with them. That's why I only prep a few of them.
Yeah, just some backups.
But, yeah, just makeups. And then if there's something happening, and they want to order pizza, that's great. You guys can order pizza. I'm going to eat my cottage cheese. And be happy.
That's that balance too. But then today, I know before we recorded this podcast, like you guys went out to a restaurant. Didn't you go to one like yesterday? Like yesterday you went out, and then today you went out. So it's just finding those swaps and balances too, which is, through the week, yeah, you guys are going to eat pizza and I'm going to eat something I've prepped. But then weekend family time, we're going to also do things together. So it's, again, that balance.
Yeah, it's just a balance. And when we do go out to eat, which we are a family that goes out to eat a lot, that is just one thing that, we've always done that. That's just, we love the food.
Yeah.
And I've had to figure out a way to exist within that world, because it's not feasible to say, well, we're never going to go out to eat again because I'm on a diet or because I'm trying to eat better. That doesn't make any sense for me. It doesn't make any sense for my family. Mm-mm. So I figured out that if I do my prepping, and even, if we do have some, say one night they do want to order pizza and I've already, covered all my bases, I'll have pizza with them. That's perfectly fine. My whole goal in prepping has been to normalize and just kind of schedule everything out and get everything to be normal. Like my kids expect me to not necessarily eat what they're eating now. They expect me to not be available, all day on Sundays because they know I'm going to be prepping. I mean, right. Payson even likes to come downstairs and cook with me sometimes now. So it's making that seem like it's not crazy. It's not weird. It's not something completely off the wall for me to have my own food and to be looking out for, what's best for me in that instance.
Right. In that instance. But that is, you're not going to a restaurant and taking your food.
No.
Right.
At home, I mean, sometimes, or like at home, I'm doing it. But when I go out to eat, I'm out to eat.
Yeah. So I think that just, and it's setting up good patterns, for the kids to see too, that you can eat these home cooked meals and they see that stuff with you. But going back to what we started, like it's helped you not have aimless snacking all throughout the day. And it's helped you to stay on target with what you want to stay on target with, because if you were at home all summer and not prepping, there's just too many things that can just pop up and then make the day go crazy.
Yeah, there's too many things happening. I mean, there's always something going on. And especially during the summer, there's always, let's go get ice cream, or let's go get a Frosty, let's go get an icy. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's all those wonderful summer activities that I love, but they're there. And if I already have my food laid out and I already have everything prepped, I don't have to worry about trying to tell the ice cream man that I don't want one when I'm starving. I'm not starving. I've already eaten. I've already got my foods in. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. But I also know what time the ice cream man comes every day.
Yeah, there you go.
So if I want to have an ice cream that day, I already have everything prepped. I already have everything planned. I know that, I can have an ice cream this day because I've already eaten this and this and this and this. I've already hit all of these goals. I have enough room for an ice cream if I want one.
Yeah, you just manipulate things around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you've been able to also have fun with your kids during the summer, because there's sometimes that you do have the ice cream and sometimes you don't. And so you're not able to say, like you said perfectly, like, well, I'm on a diet and I can't. And how many of us have heard that from just friends and everybody, like, I just can't, I'm on a diet, I can't. And what you're experiencing going into this summer, I mean, all up until this summer, but even now, is like, this is a lifestyle for me. This is a lifestyle that I enjoy. Sometimes I partake in things, sometimes I don't. And I'm going to do this for the long haul. And you have to have balance in the long haul.
It's all about, like I said, just giving yourself grace. There's a difference in giving yourself grace and, like you said, just being lazy and saying, forget it, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You can have, you can participate and you can have fun with your kids and you can eat all the things.
Yeah.
In moderation. In a graceful way. There are many ways to apply grace to things.
Yes, absolutely. So you've had the summer of grace, but you've also been very successful in the things that you've done this summer. So some things you've kept, like the meal prepping, that was something you were doing before, and you just kept rolling with that through the summer. It was easy. And then we've introduced some other new things. So it's, again, just finding that balance. So what's your favorite thing to prep? We'll ask that. What's your favorite food? What do you like to prep?
For breakfast right now, I am obsessed with cottage cheese bowls. I can put anything in a cottage cheese bowl. I do a lot of cottage cheese smoothies with cottage cheese, Fairlife milk, and protein powder. And then and I'll make a big batch of that, and it will stay good all week. And then every day I just top it with some fruit. So I'll do that for breakfast. I do a lot of overnight oats for my dinners. Lunches, we're in a bowl phase right now. So we do a lot of riced cauliflower. And my husband really likes red meat. So I'll do like just hamburger and grind it up and brown it up. Grinding my meat. And brown it up with some taco seasoning. My favorite is I like to cube up chicken and put in 1 packet of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning and 1 packet of low sodium fajita seasoning, and it's like a ranchy taco chicken.
Yeah,
so good. And I'm out. I mean, literally, I'm browning red meat on the stove. I've got cubed chicken in the air fryer, and I've got riced cauliflower in the microwave. And that's 5 lunches for me, 5 lunches for him in 30 minutes.
Yeah, perfect. And then, like we said, some people might be like, oh, cottage cheese, riced cauliflower, but then what did you have? I'm going to put you on the spot. What did you have last night for dinner?
Last night for dinner, I had a turkey and cheese roll-up on the lavash bread.
Yeah, turkey and cheese. And then what did you have at the Mexican restaurant?
Chicken fajitas, and they were good. Yep. But I gave Payson the tortillas, and Palmer ate all the beans.
Family style.
Yeah, family style, basically. And that's one of the other things that I've kind of been able to adapt when eating out. Like today, we went to Calhoun's, so local people, we went to Calhoun's, and I got a kid's grilled chicken sandwich. And I gave Payson the bun, and I got broccoli for the side instead of fries. $6 for my meal. And even though going to places where they don't like you to, only kids can order the kids' meal, Payson and another one of my kids will share an adult meal, and then I will eat the kids' meal.
Yeah.
And I just order for everybody. So that's a bonus tip for those of you who eat out as much as I do.
Yeah, try to save money. Money. Yeah, it's all about just balancing and finding what you want, and having the fun things when you want to have them, being able to go out to eat when you want to, and having the pizza when you want to, but also having, the chicken, cauliflower, and that kind of stuff. But you make it delicious. You enjoy it. So
I enjoy it, and I don't have to worry about it. I like to protein and fiber load early in the day. So if I can almost meet my protein and fiber goals by lunch, that's usually when I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I try to do that a lot to get both of the between breakfast, lunch, and my ones, because I try to have a snack. Then that right there, I should be at my protein and fiber goal. So if, we're not huge, I'm not a huge dinner person, but I still eat dinner sometimes, but I don't have to worry about trying to cram in, 60 grams of chicken or,
That's the worst feeling.
yeah. Like I don't have to try to worry about getting all that in because I've already got that covered. I'm already good.
Yeah, you're good to go. Well, we've got a lot more that we can talk about when we do more podcasts together because Megan's got an amazing story that's so much outside of food about the way that she's changed her life for sure. We're going to have a whole podcast about that, so you don't want to miss it. I could cry right now talking about it, so we're going to say...
I know, don't make me cry.
I know. She's done so good. Just turned her life around, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to recap what we've done. So for the summer, you've written down a schedule that you follow for the week, and that helps you stay on point. You meal prep, and that includes like having some extra snacks so that when it's snacky time, you've got some snacks that you know that you can lean on, and then also getting 5K steps by 3 o'clock.
Yep, those are my biggies.
Laps around the house.
Every hour.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, even when I am getting like my big exercise, like this is my scheduled time, I very rarely do more than 30 to 40 minutes because my body just can't handle that, and that's what I need to do to get to where I need to be. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, nothing crazy. And by doing these things each and every week and following them every day, your mind, that mental load is taken off of you, the stress is taken off of you, you can get it done, and then that gives you a lot of flexibility with the kids. Because you're not in there cooking constantly all day long. Because, that right there can take an hour every day.
Yes.
All right, Megan. Well, thanks for your summer tips. You've done a great job this summer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Anything you want to add before we wrap this episode up?
No. Just thanks for letting me come on.
Yes. Well, I will tell everybody that a lot of recipes that Megan makes and eats in her food prep are on our website, which is www.livehillnutrition.net. If you go under recipe cards, you will see downloadable recipes there. We also have a Pinterest page, so check those out if you need recipe ideas. I think we're up to about 50 on the page there, so lots to choose from.
Yep.
All right, thanks everybody for joining, and we will talk to y'all soon.